All right, a very good morning to you. It's good to see you on this Wednesday. Quite chilly here in Nairobi, so I hope that you're keeping warm. But all the same, thank you very much for making time for us. My name is Winnie Lubembe, and of course the show is Your World. And today we're focusing on coping with divorce, because again, like we all know, going through a separation or divorce, it can be very difficult, and it doesn't matter the circumstances, or the reason behind it. And of course, this can turn your life upside down. So big question is, how then do you cope with the same? And first of all, we just want to understand the whole process, as far as divorce is concerned. Excuse me. And then how do you pick yourself up, right? And then moving forward from the same. So it's gonna be a wholesome conversation. You want to stick around until the end of the show. If you are going through maybe a separation or a divorce this morning and you want to share your story and your experience with us, again, feel free to do so. If you've gone through one and maybe there's some answers that you're still seeking, as far as divorce is concerned, again, feel free to also send your questions our way. Our lines are open. So at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter is how you can reach us. But again, like I said, our lines are open, so give us a call. And of course, we'll be picking your calls and reading through your feedback as we continue with the show. But for now, my guest is already here, Ann Mbugua, who's an advocate and senior partner, Musimi and Company Advocates. So good to have you this morning. Thank you very much for making time for us despite the cold weather.
I'm delighted to be here.
How are you doing?
I am fine.
Yeah.
Glad to be called to talk about a subject which is very close to my heart.
Yes.
Because I've interacted with it for 30 years. 30
years.
So I started when I was young, now I've aged there.
Okay. Why exactly this specific area? Because like you said, it's very close to your heart.
It's very close to my heart.
Yeah.
The whole issue of the family.
Yes.
And of course, this is one of the challenges, one of the biggest challenges in the family.
Yeah.
Divorce
and
separation.
Very tough.
And what comes thereafter.
It's very, very tough. And,
yes,
and I mean, we usually talk about marriage, and we were just talking about this even before we came on air on, marriages, and especially marriages now, and some of the reasons why you'd want to get married, and all those things. But we've never had someone say they're getting married with the intention of getting divorced. I don't know if you've ever had some, right? Nobody wants to get divorced. But at the same time, the numbers are actually on the rise, especially now.
Yes.
And not only in the country, but I mean, across the globe. And we don't understand why. What is going on? What's happening to our families? Let's just start from the basics. First of all, how are we doing as a country? What do the numbers look like? And, what are some of these reasons behind the scene?
Like you say, everybody gets married to live happily
ever after.
Ever after. Yeah. Nobody enters into marriage with intention to divorce, but because of human nature. Yeah. And of course, the friction that comes with human interaction. Yeah. Quite a number of people are finding themselves on the divorce path. The numbers are increasing, like you say. Yeah. It's not just here in Kenya, it is worldwide. Yeah. So this institution, which we value so much, because it's through marriage that most families are established.
That's true.
And like we say, and we captured it very well in Article 45 of our Constitution, the family is a basic unit of society. Okay. It's a building block. Yeah. It's also the basis of social order. So I guess everybody goes there hoping to bring a nice block to the Kenyan structure. Yeah. That's the intention of everyone, and I think the preparation is done. Some premarital counseling is done. Well, for those ones who formally get married. For those who do come, we stay now, there is a challenge there. And of course, there's a big question, is come we stay a marriage or not in Kenya? Yeah. So the numbers are increasing, and the reasons are many. Yeah. We've got the old reasons. Yeah. Topping the list is adultery. Yeah. Simply because adultery attacks marriage at the core. It really does, yeah. It is where it should be the couple's private space. If that one is attacked, very few marriages survive.
Survive the same, yeah.
Yes, and of course it depends on how the situation is handled. Cruelty is on another big ground for divorce.
Right.
And when we talk about cruelty, we are not just talking about physical assault. We're also talking about emotional.
Yeah.
And emotional can pierce the heart. Yes, so people can see you withering, but you don't have marks. You look as nice as you do, but in your heart, you're withering. You are shedding the you. And another one is coming up. So this is a very critical area, and it's important to say cruelty is also a crime. It's not just a marital offense, it is a crime. It's captured in the act. It should attract penal consequences.
All right.
There's a big issue of desertion. I just depart. I walk away.
No specific reason, or sometimes there's a reason, but really...
I walk away.
Right? Yeah.
If I walk away there and I hit 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, someone can go and seek for divorce.
Okay.
On the
Are they
ground
like
of
walking
desertion.
away completely, never coming back to the family, or they're walking away and then come for a day and then disappear for another 6 months? And then
incidentally, Whitney, desertion can happen in the same house.
That's true.
Because desertion is not from, it's from the state of marriage. It may not be geographical space departure. And there can be constructive desertion. I create such tough, circumstances for you that you are not reasonably expected to put up with. So you walk away. So it's not me who be it's you who will be walking away, but it's me who is deserting. There's constructive desertion. We found also other things coming into the play, like emotional infidelity. Some people are lost in porn and other forms of, sexual pleasure outside marriage, not necessarily sleeping with someone, but you can be so engaged that you are detached from your spouse, or you have no spark for your spouse.
And it's very interesting because a lot of the times, first of all, people would say, so at what point do we say, like, infidelity starts, right? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it financial? So I think we'll go through them because a lot of people will say then, but where's the evidence? And especially when you're talking about a case of emotional, right? So we'll be like, show me, like, where?
Well, most acts are but at the mind level. It's what you think you are. And so in most cases it starts with emotional. It can drift to very few people will do something they have not contemplated.
And I'm so happy you pointed that out because we've had a lot of people say, but my heart was not there. I still love you, but my heart was not there. Like, it's you. It is you in my heart.
I did,
or it just happened, right? But you have to contemplate first. That happens.
The birthing of the thoughts, the growing of the thoughts. And since we see all the time things that can drift us, I think it's always important to keep focusing on the institution you committed yourself to. Finance is a big issue.
Big one,
And especially now that everybody's out hunting for a shilling. And in some cases, the girls are getting it. And I don't know, for some reason, some people are not able to balance. I have more money, but I still take my position in the institution of marriage. Or conversely, if your partner is empowered financially, the female partner, it's a good thing because it means your team is stronger. Nobody wants someone in the team who is weak. I'm sure you don't want a teammate who is weak. So it's for us to go to the issue of security so that I don't enter into inferiority complex and feeling like I need to pull you down so that I can remain on the top. It's where we cheer each other. So the dynamics of finances, big issue.
And we see that a lot because I don't know whether it's how, not wired, but how we have been socialized, I think is the word, to say or to see in many families is the man who's the custodian of sort of like the wealth, right? Of the family. So that I think when maybe the woman has acquired quite a lot, then there becomes like a bit of a rift in terms of them. So there, where do I stand? What does this say for me? Will she still maintain her position as the woman or as the wife, you know, in this relationship and all those things?
Yes.
But I like the fact that you pointed out, listen, it's a good thing because the team is stronger.
It's stronger.
You know, it doesn't matter who makes more. The point is we're all strong, and you know, we should work towards building this institution.
Yes,
called
but
marriage, right?
It depends on what you consider to be the most important thing.
Yeah, there's that.
If money start becoming like it's the big thing, then your partner looks like a small thing.
Yeah.
You know, in quotes.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
But hey, even the rich still get married.
True.
So there is something in marriage that money doesn't give.
Yeah.
It's companionship. It's just knowing we are together. It is just that warm nest where we can raise our children together. So money cannot give me that, can it?
And it shouldn't.
It can't.
It
So even
yeah.
if one of them gets more money and feels like the other one is pulling very little weight, what is most important?
What is most important? I think, is this why then people talk about foundation? What is the foundation of this institution called marriage, right? Because it's different for different people.
And then
Yeah.
Financial status can change.
True.
Today I could be having it. Tomorrow I may
I
not
don't
have
have
it.
Yeah.
We have seen people go to the mountaintop
Yes.
and we've seen them descend to the bottom. So this is changeable. So I may become very arrogant when I have it.
Yeah. And then
But 5 years down the line, I may need
come
my
back.
spouse's help.
Yeah.
So we should look at what is most important and not sacrifice it at the altar of temporal things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see that. And of course, all these courses, plus so many other things, because again, there's a lot, you know, as far as different, you know, courses for divorce or separation. So there are the courses, but then again, there's what suffices, especially when it comes to the court, right?
Yes.
So before we talk about, you know, what suffices and what doesn't, of course, there are different types of marriages that, first of all, the court recognizes. And there are others a little bit here, you know, or there. There was a lot of conversation around, you know, can we say marriages? There was also a lot of conversation surrounding, you know, the 50-50, you know, and this is as far as wealth are concerned and who is entitled to what and all those things. But first of all, can we just get to understand, so what types of marriages does the court recognize, so that when we come to you know, the divorce process and what suffices, of course there has to be a basis in terms of, does first of all the court or the constitution, you know, or the Marriage Act really recognize this is a marriage in the first place or not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's first go to the spirit of our Marriage Act 2014.
Yeah.
The spirit of the act was to register all the marriages. And so we captured Christian, civil, Hindu, Islamic, and customary.
All right.
The last two, customary and Islamic, being potentially polygamous.
All right.
So all marriages that have a certificate, of course, they're easily recognized.
Yes.
The challenge is the marriages without certificates.
Yes.
That there is where you find that animal called cohabitation.
Yeah.
Yes. I do
common
remember
now, huh?
when the draft was being made, there was a whole debate
Yeah.
because at one point there was a clause that said if you cohabit with someone for 6 months, you are deemed to be married.
Yes.
And some people are not happy with it. I was also not happy with it.
Yeah. Why?
In fact, we submitted because we need marriage is such an important thing.
Yeah.
We have prescribed how you get married.
Yes.
We've made it easy.
Yeah.
If you want to get married, just get married.
Okay. There's no, like, let's test it out. 6 months in. Do we like each other? Do we not? Okay.
You see, the challenge with cohabitation is that it carries all the rights and all the responsibilities of marriage,
Yeah.
but it has no legal recognition.
Okay.
Which means you can cohabit 2 years, 3 years. You are discharging all the duties of a married person, but there is no document you can produce.
Yeah.
Even if you go to government offices where let's say NHIF. I want to bring in my spouse. I have to do affidavits and all that. Why not just appear before a registrar and
just get the certificate? Get it done.
You get your certificate. But also because we've seen many people who've stayed in it, believed they were married. When turbulence comes, one jumps the ship. I am not married.
And it's sort of like
deny the marriage.
Yes.
You are already there. And I should have also mentioned why cohabitation. I have a bat on cohabitation because children come out of that institution. And it's not very clear. Are they in marriage or outside marriage? If we wanted to travel out of the country with our children, when we hit the embassy, there is a problem. What is the relationship between But if you have the marriage certificate and the birth certificate, it is easy. Everybody now recognizes that. So I also don't like cohabitation because it looks like it's an entry point for some polygamous because you see people are still free. So like
there's no structure, there's no
there's no commitment.
Commitment is the
and
word,
I can walk out. Yet we are bonding the same way the ones who formerly married are bonding. So the pain of parting is not less. And that's why when you talk about divorce rates in Kenya, I don't think someone has all the statistics. Because the unregistered marriages, there is parting at that level. It's not registered anywhere. Since we didn't register when we are coming in, there's also no registration when we are walking out.
Like, thank you very much, goodbye.
And there's nowhere we go register with the DO, you know, and say, now we were married, now we are divorcing. Look at the villages. I don't know whether you grew up in the village.
Yes, I did.
You don't look like you did.
Yes.
I grew up in the village. There are those divorces of, I don't want to find you here in the evening. And she parks and she goes. And because she stays in the family setup, everybody is working hard to ensure she goes. The brothers, the parents. That's another form of divorce, but it's not registered.
It's not registered.
That may bring me to the question of statistics. There could be statistics. I mean, I've seen many which are varying. Some coming from the census, the 2019 census. So you see, what I can comment about is the trend. The trend is
on the upward trajectory.
Yes. We haven't hit, one may argue we are between 10 and 15 divorce rate, which is good news to a certain extent. It means 85% in the worst case scenario of the marriages are standing. So we shouldn't feel like, the institution of marriage has collapsed in Kenya. It has not.
There's hope. There is hope. Okay. All right. So how about we take a break? But of course, now understanding what the law recognizes as marriage, right? So then what is that process like? First of all, when do you get to that point? Because like we said, there's so many causes. There is what stands, you know, when it comes to you know, the whole process as far as divorce and what, you know, the court would allow and not. But then when do you know it's time to walk away? Because that is one of the things that we see now, where a lot of people say it's very easy for people to get married, quote unquote, because like we said, cohabitation, can we stay, all those things. But then it's also easy for them to walk out. So then at what point, you know, when is that time where you say, you know what, we tried, it has not worked, let's walk away. So we'll also talk about that. And then how do you cope, which is, you know, the basis of the conversation today. How do we cope with divorce? Because it's not easy. It doesn't matter, you know, the reason for the separation or for the divorce. But again, like we said, if you have a comment, if you have a question, you want to share your experience as well, feel free to do so at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, or give us a call. Our lines are open, and of course we look forward to hear what you have to say as far as this whole question about divorce is concerned. But all that is coming up after the break. Stay with us.
All transactions with DTB secure.
Achieving more for you is the least we can do. Because at Diamond Trust Bank, you don't just bank with us, you bank on us.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and embark on a culinary journey with Pishi Bomba, the ultimate cooking show that brings the flavors of the world right into your living room. Tune in this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with me, Claire Karatu, for a mouth-watering adventure.
Pishi Bomba, in association with Coca-Cola.
Make your mealtime more magical. Buy any participating pack. Check under the cap to get your code and stand a chance to win free food shopping for a year, plus millions in instant cash, airtime, and shopping vouchers.
Candace, what's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see grandma, 42 jokes from daddy, 49 laughs from mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Dolphins? Underwater, I could hear them communicating to each other. It sounded like whistling. And it was just so amazing to be able to listen to that.
Why don't we talk about you?
Okay. What do you want to know about me?
You told me you worked at a restaurant with a relative of yours.
Why do you ask me that?
I just want to know everything about you.
It's personal. I don't tell such things to just anybody. I hope you understand.
Own your dream home for as low as 1.98 million Kenya shillings in Vipingo Kilifi. SMS Vipingo to 22365 or call us today on 0740 400 215. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. The show is Your World, and of course today it's all about coping with divorce. But again, before we get to the coping part, we really had to understand, first of all, divorce, how we're doing as a country. First of all, what types of marriages does the court recognize, okay? Before we even talk about divorce, because again, like we said, there is cohabitation. How do you go to court and say, listen, me, I want divorce? There's nothing, you know, to show that you were married in the first place. So it's important for all of us to really understand that. And of course, what suffices as well. We've talked about the different causes for separation and divorce, but again, we need to also understand you might have a cause, yes, okay, that people would want to divorce, but really what suffices, you know, as far as the court is concerned. And of course, we have Ann Mbugua, who's an advocate and senior partner at Mosimi and Company Advocates, just taking us through, you know, the whole process of understanding divorce and how we also cope with the same. So Anne, very quickly, we've touched base, right? So getting to the meat of the conversation, and first of all is, so what is that process like? So you filed for a divorce, right? What happens? What happens next, you know? And then what stands? Because there has to be something substantial, something, you know, sort of like tangible, you know, for the court to grant the request, and that is to divorce or not to divorce.
Yes. Well, we need to understand first and foremost, Kenya is yet to embrace no-fault divorce.
Okay.
And I do remember there was a discussion in 2014 when we were enacting the Marriage Act.
All right.
Do you want a swing door, you know, swing in, swing out.
Yeah.
And what carried the day is that we would want some grounds. Because this is such an important institution. Surely you need to tell us where you want to go. So you state the grounds in your petition. But we need to state that in the same act, there is encouragement to go for conciliation before a conciliation body.
All right.
So that we don't want to, let's say, bury an institution which may be in ICU.
Right.
So HDU.
Okay.
We need to check it, see whether there's some life in it.
There's life. Yeah.
If some oxygen, you know, can help, you know, resuscitation. Yes. And good news is some marriages have resuscitated at that point.
Okay.
So even lawyers are not undertakers. We will come and declare it's dead. You know?
It's like, yes.
No, we engage the clients in the process to see, is there something that can be done to save this institution?
Okay.
If truly nothing can be done, or the party feels I've done my best, you see, you can't stop people from taking a step.
Yeah.
But it's at that point we call for people then to enter into the process in a civil way. It is not war. And if it is war, it would be called civil war. And in civil war, everybody suffers. We are fighting ourselves. So it is that point we also manage the process. We try to come up with some principles that will guide us in the process. We are lucky if we have, we are talking with the other side, but in some instances we can only talk about ourselves.
All right.
There's a time we used to carry a lot of linen to court to wash, you know, in front of people.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, truth be told, especially where there are children, the person you are fighting is father or mother of your children.
Yeah.
And we can we can dissolve a marriage. We cannot break the family. The family remains.
Yeah.
And these kids are bearing our DNA and our names. So we've got to safeguard parenting even as we deal with marital issues. We don't want to fight so much at marital level and we prejudice the parenting, which is a lifelong process.
Yeah.
So when you go to court, you state your grounds, and there are those ones we've already mentioned.
Yeah.
There are courts that inquire a little more. There are courts that feel if you've decided, if you've gone through a process, and they inquire, have you had, let's say, counseling?
Yeah.
You know, has the family been engaged? Or you just woke up and said,
we're done.
Since you call us, since you called us when you are getting married, or those who didn't go to come to stay.
Yes.
The others involve us 100%. In fact, some even involve us financially.
Yeah.
We changa for these things.
Yeah.
So you should at least call someone and say, look, this is what I've decided to do. Because you called us when there was a party. So the court will inquire into it. You don't get divorced on the spot. Yeah, they'll take time to run through your grounds, etc. But the policy I see in court is we don't want to keep people waiting for too long because some are even in the same house. So I'm departing, let's meet in court. So the situation should not, you know, go on for too long because of conflict. So they try to prioritize the matters. Give it maybe under 1 year. 6 months best case scenario. You can be through with our process.
Yeah.
You should ask a question. If I have no marriage certificate,
yeah,
and I look at my situation and truly you can see I've been married.
Yeah.
You and we don't want to now get involved with another person.
Okay.
And on Friday, the eve of the wedding, you get the Friday injunction.
Yeah.
You have heard of those cases.
Absolutely.
Someone says, oh, no, she's my wife.
Yeah.
And they come with ata watoto wako, you know, photos and affidavits.
Yeah. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, we've been together for this long.
This long,
Yeah. So you look at some situations And because of the merger that happened, and people merge at the level of staying together, getting children together, acquiring property together. So there's need to severe if someone want to walk away.
All right.
So we go to court. The first thing we ask the court to do is to declare there is a marriage.
Okay.
So we put all the facts
there's a lot
that are to convince the court there was marriage.
Yes. Okay.
And there are also the people who started customary but did not finish. First visit.
When you have to show
I walked away with a man.
Yeah.
So, and they have never come back. We have not finished. We've seen some courts, like, let's say, the Kikuyu customary marriage. They say you have to go all the way to Gurario.
Yeah.
It's not just Rurashio.
Yeah.
Those who understand that language. Yeah. So it's not just dowry. So sometimes it's not clear, am I married or not? So you want a court to declare you are, and then the court proceeds to dissolve what it has declared exists.
Yeah.
Of course, you spend more money. You see, that's why we say don't cohabit. It's a lengthier journey, and someone can deny it.
Yeah.
We've seen some people say, no, you are a visiting girlfriend.
After 15 years.
You visited for so long, Winnie.
15 years later, you're still visiting.
You're still visiting.
Yeah.
Or it was intermittent.
Yeah.
It cannot be called cohabitation because it was interrupted many times.
Yeah.
And where there is property, there is an inclination to deny marriage altogether because that kills the debate of matrimonial property claims.
Yes. Yeah.
So you spend more, by the way, with the legal process if you are in cohabitation than if there is a marriage certificate.
legally married. Yeah. I see that. So it's a whole process. It's more tasking. It's just too much. Okay. Yes. All right. And of course, like we said, there's what the court would, look at and say this is the sufficient ground for this to happen. So we dissolve the marriage. So what is not sufficient ground to dissolve this marriage? Are there such things? Could you give us maybe a few examples?
I've seen courts in some instances decline and dismiss the petition. By the way, when you look at a petition, you can tell this one is looking for anything to swell, and create a case.
Yeah.
So you look at what is it called? The significance of the offenses. Okay. The duration one is talking about. The action taken. For example, if you came late 2 days, in a year, and I ran and say, she's always coming late.
Really, that's
but haven't gone to why. It could have been a reason. Or, I think we value marriage so much, we'll not allow you to walk away if it's just, I feel.
Yeah.
I don't feel, a lot of maneno of feelings.
Yeah.
Simply because we understand marriages have ups and downs.
Sure.
I saw some research by Daystar University, and I was very happy to see their findings.
Yeah.
Divorce is highest 0 to 10 years. And I guess it's because we are learning each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've moved from the honeymoon.
Yes.
Now we're
reality.
Reality.
This is how we look without the wigs.
I thought I could stand you with your socks everywhere, but now I realize.
Yes, and now we are used to a lot of photo shooting.
Yeah.
So you look good, you present yourself. But when it comes now to cleaning and collection of garbage and what is involved in running a home, another person could come out. Yeah. And so you enter the discovery stage, and some people exit at that point. Is this who you are? This is not what I'm again for. I'm off.
Yeah.
And so marriages between 1 and 10 need a lot of support, a lot of counseling engaged, because truth be told, there is no perfect person.
Absolutely.
And that's why you see the rate of divorce in second marriages is higher than in the first marriage. So why not work on the first marriage?
The first one, yeah.
If moving on will be that difficult, you know, so why not work on this one?
Yeah.
So I think the society and the institutions that we deal with, like churches and, you know, families, need to invest a lot in 1 to 10, so that as they discover each other, we are there to support. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the court looks at how long.
Yes.
What have you done? Have you engaged mechanism, etc.
Absolutely.
Few have said no, not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and try harder.
Go and try harder. Okay. I mean, it's good to hear that, you know, the point is not to dissolve marriage because everybody wants their marriages to dissolve, but really getting to really understand why. Have you tried, you know, all these other avenues, you know, reconciliation. Some people would say, let's try and sort it out of court and all those things. Try. That's the point.
Try.
Okay. So in the event that, you know, evidence substantial, you know, stands ground in court, both parties, you know, agree and say, listen, you know what, this is where we are, and we have decided that we're gonna dissolve this marriage, right? And all those things. And like we said when we started the show, it's not easy. It doesn't matter how civil you are, both parties. It's not easy, you know, for either of them. And if there are children involved, it's even harder for the children. So then, how do you cope? You know, and especially the first few days, because there's a lot of adjustments to be made, right? You're used to, you know, this person, but now they're not there anymore, and you have to take care of your kids maybe or alone, depending on how the agreement has been in court. It's just a lot. So then how do you cope, first of all, with the change, and then slowly adapting and adjusting to sort of like this new life, you know, and this is after divorce.
Okay. To start with, I think you need to choose your battles.
Okay.
And to choose the method of fighting.
All right.
Sometimes we tell the clients to manage, because there are 3 things we deal with.
All right.
Divorce. So assuming we've cleared with that.
Yeah.
There is the issue of children, and in some cases we have matrimonial property disputes. Do not take too much, do not put in the mouth too much that you're not able to chew and swallow.
Yeah.
So I've seen people start fights on all fronts, like family front, you know, divorce, property, children. Financially it wears you out, emotionally it wears you out. And that's why it's good to weigh yourself and see, what do I deal with first?
Okay.
There's a time we were very quick to run for divorce. So you instruct me, and tomorrow we are in court.
Yeah.
And we greet the other person with makaratas. But sometimes it helps to resolve the most emotive issue.
Okay.
Which is children.
Yeah.
Because probably if you resolve the children issue first, then the emotions may go down.
All right.
Or you may not carry them in the marital fight.
Okay.
So and I could say we've been encouraging people to go for ADR. Because litigation is very expensive to start with. Litigation is adversarial. So I've got to show you how Winnie is such a bad person. You know?
Yeah. They don't deserve to stay with the kids.
And then Winnie will return fire for fire.
Yeah.
So
Evidence
things escalate. So we now end up with jet fuel fire. It's very hard to put off. So the idea maybe is to retreat. The first thing we tell people is to take charge of your situation and try to harness it.
Yes.
Take charge in the sense that if you don't take charge, someone else is going to make decisions.
That's true.
For you.
For you.
And most likely the court. The court doesn't know you, doesn't know where you stay, doesn't know your landscape, but there shall be orders because courts are there to help people by issuing orders. But between ourselves, we can agree, for example, on the very hot issue of custody, care, and control. And in many instances, maybe it helps to first resolve that issue because it is there that we acknowledge we are undoing the nest where our chicks have been nested. Are we going to, you know, rarua it? They fall from the tree to the ground, because children really suffer in these fights.
Yeah.
But if we can be the grown-ups we are, because we are assuming you got married because you had hit
also
18.
Yes.
You are an adult.
Yeah.
If you could harness the situation and agree,
yeah,
this is how we are going to handle the children's issue. One, who will make decisions for the children? This is what we call legal custody.
All right.
How will we make decisions? I can't pull them out of the school and I take them to the estate, the school near the estate where I want to go and stay. Then I send a message and say, pay school fees in school B. Now,
or you will never see your children.
Yeah, and then he'll say, I did not make a decision. You made the decision. You finance it. That's why we have a lot of chest thumping. No. But we can sit and say, look, for the stability of the children, maybe they remain where they are.
Okay.
If we are to move them, because even schools, you don't go and say, we are pulling out our children. No. Well, some you pay the penalty. You forfeit some fees. But it's good to follow due process. So you agree on making decision for the children. Then where will their primary residence be? Is it here or there? And the one who doesn't have primary residence, when will that parent interact with the children?
And where? Right?
Where and for how long? And everything revolves around children, not what I want or what he wants. In the best interest of the children is supreme. So we revolve around what is best for them.
Children.
So those who say, I don't want my children to see him or her, it's not about you.
It's about the child.
About the child.
Yes.
So grown-ups really have to live with some discomfort because anyway they created the situations. Anyway, they decided to have the children. So children are innocent. They should not be pawns in a fight. So, and then finally, shillings. How will we deal with the shillings? So if you want, I mean, the law is 50-50, Article 53 of the Constitution. But the reality, Winnie, is in most homes,
that's not the case.
The financial muscles are not.
One is stronger than the other.
I would go for equitable. If you have more, put in more.
Okay.
And put in more with a clean heart. Okay. For a very simple reason.
Don't remind your partner, you know I am the one who does almost everything. No. Okay.
When we want the kids, we even say what we desire them to be. We have a vision.
True.
When you get children, you have a vision. I want my children to hit, you know, this international,
and whatnot.
This level. I want them to be career people, whatever the case may be. I don't think your vision should die because of marital differences. Okay. Pursue it. And anyway, children are dependents for 21 years. By the way, they could be even less. You know, these days they start earning.
I mean, listen, digital and all those things. Yes.
So it's only for maybe 23 years we are called upon to tighten our belts. And then after that, we set them free. They'll fly. And by the way, we will need them when we are old, 70 and above. They'll have money. You know, by then we may be having a lot of money, but Winnie, I can't take you back to school. No. You're too old for school. So it's kids are schooling now, so we do our best now. So it's not a contest. I think for me, it should be a battle of goodness. What is the best thing we can do for our child? And then finally, we do agree on how to co-parent. In discipline, can quickly flow in where parents are fighting. And children, by the way, are clever. They can also play as one against the other. So to stop that, we need to try our best to speak the same language. So when they go to home A, the sleeping hour is
the same.
So you go to home B, is the same. Because we see sometimes when spouses fight, very eager to please the children, a lot of junk. You know, mommy, do you want this? You know, they get everything they want, but you may be growing a monster because discipline duty is with us. So we do agree on parental principles so that we can guide, in these stormy waters, we can guide the children. Involvement of third parties, at this stage, not advisable because they bring other dynamics. So this issue is best resolved between mommy and
daddy. Okay.
They stabilize the ship. The ship can start sailing.
Yeah.
Maybe when it is now sailing smoothly, you can look for ways of dealing with those other aspects. Some people are so eager to meet my children. Please, how you feel about that person is not the way your children will feel about and it's not the way the other person will feel about them. So you may have battle. You open another battlefront. That's why I say choose your battles and try and minimize them.
I mean, and I'm happy that you're really, you know, like not just painting the picture, but just ideally this is what should happen. Because again, at the end of the day, the two of you are adults. Yes, you're hurt. You know, there's some people who see the partner as the enemy, right? So they cannot be civil in any given way. You don't even want to see your face. It's like, talk to the hand or talk to my lawyer. You don't talk to me, you know, and all those things. And of course, in that process, the children will definitely suffer, or they would make the process even more difficult or more complicated because I don't want to speak to you, you don't want to speak to me, and all those things, and we cannot agree on anything. It becomes just too complicated, you know, a matter to deal with. So in those instances where people cannot completely agree on they cannot be civil in any way, right? If anything, one tries to bully one out of the other, or one tries to, what is the word, manipulate, you know, one out of this situation for their own interest, then what happens? Because like you said, the court can actually come in, right, and make decisions for you. So can we just talk a little bit about that so that people really understand, you know, what would happen?
One, we have children's courts. Established for this purpose, and the judicial officers trained. So the people posted there will more likely have a heart for children and a heart for the family. It is not a place where we are very quick to issue orders and bang tables, you know that hammer? It's so decided. The children's court is more engaging. So if we see someone stalling, someone resisting, there are mechanisms of dealing with them. Court orders do help because human nature sometimes needs some law. The law is made for these disobedient and naughty people. But the courts also have orders they can issue and processes they can take parties through that will help them, first of all, reflect. Download some emotions too welled up. And then now, hopefully, logic comes in, reasoning comes in. So we do have actually prayers like family-assisted orders, where the court says, you go sit with a counselor. And there are many counselors now equipped to deal with the family scenario. You sit, and a report will be filed in court, and the court is monitoring how it is going. So if I become big-headed, I shall not go. The court now can also firmly push me. And there are also those ones of, you do it, if not, you lose this, or you are penalized this way. And since all of us, we want to participate in our children's lives, so it works in most of the cases. The court calls the children sometimes. I've had such instances. Especially if they are of the age they are able to engage. And by the way, the children are very good in reporting parents. And don't try to coach them. They will just tell you. Who told you? Mommy said I should. You do not want to do that. And we don't want to coach children because you'll be teaching children how to manipulate situations. So we are going to reap this fruit, a bad fruit. We do not teach children how to lie because they lie to the judicial officer for your sake. They will lie to you tomorrow. So we want honesty. So just behave well because when the courts call the children, and the magistrates know how to extract it indirectly. So they don't go to cross-examine children. They just take them through, you know, some engagement, and it comes out. What is in the papers is not true. It's not what's happening in the house. So they do engage in that process. Where one person is very difficult, especially when they are still in the same house, or violent, the court can give what we call exclusion orders, which is an order to say you depart from the house because you are a chaotic one. You leave the other parent with the children, in that house. So quite a number of people have been exited from their homes because of violence. Yes.
And violence is not good at all. Doesn't matter whether you're going through a divorce process or not. Violence is just, no, out of question.
Winnie, if we want to kill our children emotionally, just engage in
violence
in front of the children.
Don't do that.
Or
Don't
in the hearing of the children, or at all, because they get to know. They're very clever. We don't want our children to start their story with us. I was raised in a home where, because many people are starting their stories there. And they love the two parents. They are very confused by violence in the home. How can two people whom I love so much behave like this? So the wounds they suffer, and I've seen some going through counseling. By the way, you can enrich counselors to undo what you are doing to your children, but it will not succeed. There's no counseling which will take away the wound a parent inflicts every day, because children stay in that home. So if you inflict it every day, then you spend money on counselors. By the way, you can do locally or internationally. It doesn't matter. It is not going to work. Parents, we need to
try and
control yourself for the sake of the children. And I'm very happy the communication channels we have now enable us to fight without anyone knowing we're fighting. There's WhatsApp. You can send an email. You know, you don't have to yell in front of the children. We've lined children in counseling boardrooms all over this country. And yet they walk away with wounds. So because of the psychological trauma kids suffer, we may end up with bent children, and that they will grow to be bent adults.
And we do not want that. For the sake of everybody else, we honestly just don't want that. Unfortunately, our time is up. Can you believe that? Yes.
Wow.
Time flies. I don't know what usually happens with time, but really, we've gone through most of the things. There's so much to really, unravel as far as divorce and how do you cope with the same. So we might need like a part B of the same.
That would be fine.
Right? Yes. But for now, to just put a pause here before we continue with the conversation. What is it in literally 10 seconds? Talk to the people who are watching you this morning and, just understanding as far as divorce is concerned and coping with the same. 10 seconds. Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Family is very important. We should fight to keep the families. It's 100% duty on both sides. The woman puts 100%, the man puts 100%. With that, we safeguard the very precious gifts that God gave us, called children.
And that is the children.
Yes.
I like that.
So
I really like that. I like that. Thank you very much. Ann Mbugua, advocate and senior partner, Musimi, and company advocates. I mean, such an insightful conversation. Like I said, we need a part B of the same. So we're going to call you, because there's a lot. At what point does the court then release you, and then the adjustment process, like we talked about, and all those things, co-parenting, financial, it's just too much, but we cannot finish that in this hour. So allow us to say goodbye, but we promise we'll have a part B of the same. But in the meantime, have yourselves a lovely day ahead. Let's keep the conversation going on our socials. But I'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, right here on Your World. But until then, stay safe and God bless, and let's try our best. Like we keep saying right here on the show. Goodbye for now.